right, Kenman here. It's shipwreck time. It's been a while. We're back. Let's do it. What's a shipwreck? This right here. This was a nice piece of copper on this Kaiser Towser K. We put it in a container, added some chemicals to it, came up with this really beautiful patina, kind of a forced patina is what we're going to do today. I love it. It's super fun. I have these two Rough Ryder Aptas, one in brass and one in copper. Brass and copper are the two materials that you can do the shipwreck process to. They react with the ammonia and the salt and the things that we're going to add to it to create these fun colors and patina. It's actually going to change this material. It's going to wear in and weather itself in. So it's going to be a permanent change. It's not like we're painting the surface. It's chemically altering this brass and copper. I am going to take both of these and put them in the same container with similar applications and chemicals so that we can then compare and contrast what it is that's different. What does brass do differently than copper? Obviously the brass is more gold, the copper is more kind of a copper, orange, I guess, if you will. But those shades are different to start, and what are they going to do differently, react differently? Let's take these apart and find out. This is one of our goal looks, whatever it is. Okay, let's get to it. I've got my nice little board, keep everything clean here. Actually, before I do that, let's get some last looks. They got a nice snappy sound. The Rough Ryder Apta. Cool hammered, or not hammered, but like grooved out deep texture on there, kind of like a jig bone. This one's real snappy, real loud sound on the copper one. So there they are, before and afters. All right, here we go. Enjoy that sound one last time. Hopefully it sounds just like that when we put it back together. Notice the copper one isn't quite as loud. Something about that brass. The copper one is louder. Something about the brass muffles it a little, or the copper makes it echo more. I don't know. But let's take these apart. Quick little table set. Boom. Dinner served. Okay, so these are slip joints, so it is going to be a little different here. But they are designed to be taken apart, so we will be able to do so. That slipped out pretty easy there. So T8 for the pivot, and then we got T6 for the scales here. Seems they're rolling out really easy here. I know how a slip joint works, but I'm not exactly sure what I'm getting into here. Can't really push that through yet. Alright, well that's simple enough, right? So there is some pressure on there. I wonder if that's easier to take off when it's open. Yeah, it seemed like there was a little less pressure in the open position. Alright, so then that's your spring. It basically just has, you can see that it doesn't ride all the way to the edge now, because when the blade was in there, that pushed it out. That was that spring pressure. That tension is all that is required for this design. That is stuck in there. I'm going to need to get a pliers to get that out. Oh, there are some brass or washers there. It's pivoting on. All right, let's do this again. Sometimes I speed this part up, but you know, these teardowns are pretty easy right here, so we'll have some fun. It has been a little while. I haven't done a shipwreck in, I don't know, a couple of months maybe. This is probably my favorite custom project. It's just super fun to do. The patina, you can control it, but then also can't control it. You're going to get a little bit of just, oh, I had it open was the easier way. You're going to have some, you know, randomness that happens to it that you don't have as much control over per se. We will be able to control it a little bit with the way we kind of do everything. I am struggling here. Reach in the pocket for the pry bar. That is coming in handy. Maybe. I gotta remember to be careful. We got a blade right there, but this is, there we go. Let's do that, and then I can get the blade off and out of the way here. Alright, now we're good. Now we are good. It's not really going to matter. Since these are the same, I can kind of mix this stuff up. They should go back together anyway. I did talk to the guys at Smoky Mountain Knife Works, is where they have the Rough Riders available, and they said that the blades were interchangeable on the Aptas. I got another one here we're going to shipwreck with a different blade, kind of that Warncliffe. This one's also copper. And then my favorite one actually is this blade right here on the micarta handle, but we'll leave those as is. We will shipwreck this one eventually, but right now we're on this one here. So we have them apart. I am going to get a pliers so we can pop that out of these right here, and then we'll get the chemicals and the products and stuff we need for the shipwreck, and we will be right back here, and away we go. Okay, we have everything all set. We've got these cleaned and ready. I have a container with a bunch of paper towels that I've wadded up into little balls. I did add a little bit of ammonia. I'm going to add a little bit more. Ammonia is the main active ingredient that's going to create vapors in this container, and those vapors are going to move around and create all these little swirls and patterns and make the chemicals mix with our scales, and that's what's going to create this really fun patina that we're about to do. Woo, make sure you're in a well-ventilated area, fans. Ammonia has quite the potency. I have some other chemicals. We have some ammonia, soy sauce. We have some vinegar and some various types of salt, so we can do some different applications. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some regular table salt. I'm going to sprinkle some of that on the top here liberally in a few different places, just kind of get it scattered about. I am also going to take some Himalayan rock salt and do the same. Doesn't matter, doesn't need to be uniform. The whole purpose of making the paper towels wadded up the way we did is to create all these crazy wrinkles that are variants and different. So those are going to hit and touch and make different things happen, I guess. Okay, so let's go ahead and drip in a little bit of the soy sauce. Soy sauce has salt in it, so that's kind of one of the active ingredients. Here is some apple cider vinegar, same kind of deal. It's going to be one of the agents that's going to create some of these variances for us here. If you experiment and have done shipwrecking before, tell me what you've done, what has been successful, what's created some cool things, what's been some things you didn't like. Alright, so we're going to take these, I suppose I can do two at a time here. I have a Q-tip. I'm going to go in here and just kind of get a little bit of the ammonia splashed on here in a few spaces. Just another way to randomly get this applied. You can try to make it as even as you want, but this patina process, get it off your table here, is going to react in weird ways and do different things. So as I said, you don't necessarily always have the full control, but by putting this on here just randomly, you're allowing it to just be in different spots, a little thicker or lighter in some areas, and that's fine. Okay, and we'll get a little bit of this vinegar on here, just however you want. Don't even have to do all of them. I'm just having some fun. Now I'm going to take the salt and actually drop some right on there so you can see some of that salt hit that. I'm going to do it with this as well. Chances are the rocks aren't going to stick, since I'm going to flip this over and set it in our bed. So here we go. Well, here, take a look. Nice and close. There's 1, 2. Just like so. And we repeat. I do want to find out what the difference is between these two materials, what kind of achievements or what sticks out more. So I'm going to basically kind of do the exact same thing. We've got some ammonia here I'm going down with, and we're going to get in here with a little bit of that soy sauce. So essentially we're kind of doing the same application, you know, not exactly the same place, but the same amounts and stuff for application that, you know, we'll maybe get some similar results, or we can kind of see what acts differently on one versus the other. A little salt down here. Okay. And a couple of these. It's crazy, look at that. You can already see it changing on this one right here, like literally right now. That's different. You see that? It's fun. Alright, so in we go with that one. And number 4. Boom. So now they are resting on that bed of stuff. We have some variety going on. I'm going to get a clean Q-tip and remove any excess on the back. I'm going to push that down too. Basically, since these are slip joints, you don't want anything changing that back section there. I do have one where I did it a few times and there was a spot. It's not on this one specifically, but a spot where it corroded enough that it actually left a little bit of a pit. So any of the areas that you have that are going to be in working, moving spots, you don't want anything on there. All right, so we are set. We have that how we want it to be. I'm going to seal this up. And the way these work is, since it's laying down on top of the chemicals, if we were to pick it up and move it and look at it, you might not get it down in the same spot. So whatever was creating will then be different when you put it back in there. So we're basically just going to leave this for at least 12 hours. I found 12 to 24 hours is kind of a good time for what we're doing here. So yeah, here it is. We're gonna let it sit overnight. I will open it up in the morning. We will see what we've got. Good morning. It has been about 12 hours. Let's go ahead and take a peek and see what we got. Fun part right here. Here we go. It's stuck. Now what we're going to see right here is not the true results. It is still wet. Some of that blue is not going to remain. It'll kind of wipe off. It's a kind of surface patina. Some of it is definitely penetrated in. But what we're seeing right now is not going to be quite that blue. This looks cool. I'm liking it. Ooh, let me seal this back up. I just took a Good deep breath. That's too much. Whew. So here's what we have. Now I'm going to let these dry completely, and then we'll rinse them off, and it'll kind of see what we were left with. All right. Off camera here during my live, I washed them off in some water, did a little light sanding in a couple of spots, and this is kind of where we're at. I am going to go ahead and clear coat these, and then we're going to get them put back together, and we can take a look and talk about it. Clear coat complete. I'm happy with the final results. They do look a little different. They're definitely different than what I was envisioning, but that's the beauty of the Shipwreck. You never will envision what it's exactly gonna be. All right, so let's see if we can get these back together. I'm gonna time lapse this since I have two of them, and I don't know how long it will take. So let's go ahead and go for it. All right, let's get this board out of the way. We have done it. We have a dual shipwreck project in the books, the Rough Ryder Apta. This one has a little bit less of a ting. Didn't have much at first. Kind of a subtle shipwreck. What do we think? I actually really like it. I sanded some parts here, kind of cleaned some areas up. It's fun. It's interesting the way it interacts with the texture that's already there. Listen to the snap on this one. Still there. Some reason that copper just really makes that echo a little bit more. So I didn't do as much sanding on this one, just a little bit in a few spots, give a couple highlights or whatever. But what do we think overall? What do we learn? I don't know, maybe not much. Shipwrecking is fun, you never know what you're going to get. Seems to go down into grooves a little bit more than on the surface. Especially the salt kind of pools down in there or creates more blue down in the depths. I don't know, the chemicals react a little differently. We get a little bit more blacks from, I don't know if it's it might be the vinegar, I think. And then the lighter colored burnt spots kind of seem like the soy sauce. Obviously the blue is the salt. Either way, it's a great experiment. How many shipwrecks have you done? What have you used? How were your results? Comment below. What do we think? Learn something, didn't learn something. I love these Aptas. They are fun. Shipwrecking's a good time. I'm going to do some more. Stay sharp. We'll see you soon.